is a show that focuses on the person behind the brony. I'm your host, Osaka Jack. Please sit back and relax as we talk to this week's guest brony. Hello, everyone. This is Osaka Jack with Into the Spotlight on Everfree Network. With me today, I have someone who has just one of the most difficult names I've come across. Okay, correct me. It's Michael Pallante, right?
You left out a C. It's Mick. You got to get that in there. Michael.
Okay.
Pallante.
Pallante, right? Okay. How are you today?
I am excellent, my friend, and I assume you're doing well as well.
It's still AM, which is usually 8 me, but I'm doing all right, I suppose.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Oh, I should. Okay. For any sticklers, yes, this is Michael Pallante.
Hi.
Yes. Now you recognize him? See? Okay, all right, that's better.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody is not familiar with what you do, could you describe?
The shortest way to say it is I make brony music and a lot of it. For about the last year and a half, I put out exclusively rock songs, but in the past few weeks, I've decided to maybe get out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Oh. I think one of the best things I've seen recently is someone insisted, no, you don't understand. I'm never in my comfort zone. I'm never comfortable.
I know exactly what they mean.
Yes, as a general rule, we're doing songs, and for the most part, rock.
Yeah, it's actually
up until recently.
Yeah. It's that's why I spent so much time and money maintaining the most expensive domain name ever, bronyrock.com.
Ah, yes.
Yes. But no, it's after about 100 of those, I figured there might be something else out there.
I've heard rumors of other types of music, but I'm not willing to give it a chance yet.
I climbed to the top of a mountain, looked down on the ledge, and I saw a lonely man in a cloak, and he told me that indeed there is something besides rock, and I just went on this long journey and found out that music can also be made with keyboards.
Interesting. Like keyboards hitting guitars as picks, I'm thinking?
That's what I tried first. And while interesting, the results were not quite what I expected.
I'm reminded of, I cannot for the life of me recall his name right now, but the person who did the original song I Want Candy had no training whatsoever in how to play guitar. He had no idea. So he taught himself, which is why it has that odd sound, because he's not really playing guitar as a guitar, he's playing it as a percussion instrument.
Yeah, no, that's not the most uncommon thing I've ever heard, and it's not out of the realm of possibility to play a stringed instrument like that.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit like oh man, I'm gonna just completely lose all my credibility and say I can't remember the name of the guy from the Beach Boys, but the guy that was the lead songwriter in that, the way he approached it was thank you for saving me on that.
Honestly, I'm only saved because of Bare Naked Ladies. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, no, the way he approached it was he wasn't so much playing guitars, but he would just look at the guitar and see what interesting shape his fingers could make. And that was the chord that the song was going to go with, so... there's all sorts of ways to do it.
Yes, of course. When you are doing the music, do you actually use guitar and other instruments, or is it mostly just keyboard instrumented guitars?
Ooh, it's a little of both. All the guitars are they're absolutely real. Long before September 10th, 2010, when Ponies came into existence, I was in other bands.
October
wow.
10th.
You know what's really sad about that? That's my wedding anniversary.
Oh dear. I apologize for embarrassing you right now. Okay.
No, that's all right. Sorry, but long before that, I was in other bands, and so I got I have a full music studio, so all the guitars are recorded live. Most of the keyboards are recorded live. Everything else is a little orange box that sits next to my computer.
Ah, okay. That honestly is a. Oh no, I guess that's been done. Orange box. Yeah, we can't do that for a band name, can we?
No.
Not unless you want to get specific Portal and Team Fortress 2 and Half-Life 2 music. Yeah, okay.
You're talking about games.
Yes.
Okay. I'm the least gamer person out there.
Oh, okay. Valve has a collection called the Orange Box, which includes the game Portal, Team Fortress 2, and some of the Half-Life 2 games. All in the same collection. It's called the Orange Box. So,
as someone that owns and plays a Wii, this is news to me.
I was full on total 100% Nintendo fan until the Wii.
Really?
Just because I don't have space in my apartment, and when I'm playing a game, I do it specifically to relax as much as possible, which means the fewest amount of motor skills needed. So I didn't have to move my hands for it.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, but for me I hadn't bought a new system in a long time until I got the Wii. So
yeah, if somebody enjoys it, that's fine. Absolutely, just for me, the Wii made Link right-handed. Link is always left-handed.
I know. That's fair enough. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I will say Skyward Sword was one of my favorite games of all time.
It does look really good. I do kind of wish I would get it, but at the same time, I've forced myself to not get any game system for a single game.
That's a smart move there.
Yeah.
But I would say the Wii's on sale these days. They got a mini Wii. You know, not that I'm, tapping on your shoulder with a little pitchfork and some devil horns, but
you were tempting me to buy meat earlier, and you're really good at this temptation stuff. I told you I have to save money, and it's got to be cheap pasta for the next 8 days, and I don't have money to afford those wonderful-looking maple breakfast links.
You could be extremely happy for 1 day or miserable for 8.
The 1 day of happiness would be followed by 7 days of not eating. So I'm thinking probably no right now.
I'll get you. I'm not giving up on it.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, if I lived in an area that had more, trees and stuff, I could just pick off some leaves and use those. Because if video games have taught me anything, is that any plant is edible.
Well, if video games have taught you anything, that means you can just go mow the lawn and find some precious gems.
Exactly, yes. If only Osaka had grass.
Today I learned Osaka has no grass.
Yes. Recently, a few years ago, I took a vacation to a very rural area of Japan. And I actually have a video of it. I was so excited to be able to walk through leaves. Like, listen, it makes a crunchy sound. I haven't heard you in years.
I can say I could not live without that. I'm the most suburban person ever. I need grass and leaves, and concrete is foreign to me.
Oh, I love it, absolutely. But at the same time, allergy season is no more than a day and a half for me at this point.
I don't have allergies. Oh!
You can... Yeah.
All
right, after we stop recording, I can tell you where to go and what's to do with the item and which verbs to use. But
I'm assuming... Yeah, okay.
Oh, no allergies. How?
No allergies on the lakefront property surrounded by trees all year round.
It's nice.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yet at the same time, I am within 5 minutes of both subway and train station and can go literally everywhere in Osaka to any of the stores. If I had money, I mean, it's...
Yeah. Well, you could still go and...
Yeah, just wouldn't be able to come back. Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember what your first Baroni song was?
Yeah, actually. My very first Baroni song was... Oh, and you know what? It's 100 songs ago, and so the name is gonna get at me. But it was about Fluttershy.
Okay.
It was not so much about Fluttershy, but featured Fluttershy.
Okay.
Wings of the Pegasus. That's
Wings
what
of
it
the Pegasus.
was.
Okay. Okay.
Wings of the Pegasus. It was a nice, slow, ballady thing
Mm-hmm.
that I specifically wrote because of you and my friend Joy.
Ah,
Um,
right, right, right.
she turned me on to some Haymaker Pony stuff, and it
Okay.
was just so beautiful, and I really enjoyed the ballad so much that I thought, well, why don't I try that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know how to write songs. I have a computer that records things. I bet you I could do that.
Mm.
And it was about Fluttershy
Mm-hmm.
trying to cheer up one of her friends.
Oh, okay.
Cause yeah, but yeah, without our friend Joy and Haymaker just really being such a great artist and inspired me to try and do it as well, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have gotten into it. I would have
Oh.
just been happy to listen and go, well, that stuff's neat, isn't it? I'm glad other people. I'm glad other people put in the effort, but
But not
I
you,
got.
right?
Yeah.
We've mentioned that you preferred or have preferred up until recently the rock and or ballad versions. What has been the instrument of choice?
Oh, it's been guitar pretty much through and through.
Now,
Um,
come on now. I've talked to musicians. There's not a one of them who will just say this is a guitar. They've got name. I know you want to tell me the specific model name.
oh yeah. It's a Jackson Sharktooth Flying V Black Double Humbuckers. Yeah, it's
Okay.
that I waited for that guitar for so long. I had been in metal bands playing whatever I could afford for about 15 years, and then finally I came into some money, and I went to the store.
Mhm.
I went to Guitar Center, looked around, waited for the first guy to smile at me. I'm kind of a stickler about customer service, so
Okay.
I was in there. I had two sales guys look at me and scowl, and then I had one guy that smiled, and I walked up to him, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, "Excuse me, sir, can you get me two KRK VXT6s, give me two power conditioners, the Jackson Sharktooth Flying V that's up on the wall, and all the cables for everything?" Made his day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I had been waiting for 15 years to be able just to walk in and get exactly what I wanted at Guitar Center.
Technically, I do that often, but that's just because I really have very little use for what's in a Guitar Center. So I leave with exactly what I wanted.
You're not taking it away from me. I'm
No,
just
no, no.
gonna
I'm sorry.
live
I
in that
didn't mean to
moment.
say it like that. I was just doing a bad joke. But yeah.
No, I'm playing with you now. It was, yeah, no, it hasn't happened since and is not likely to happen again. But for that one shining moment, I had my all my toys.
So nice.
Oh,
Does it have a nickname?
no, I haven't named my guitar since high school. And the reason being, there's a video somewhere of me with the name of a girl I had a crush on my guitar, and I've seen the video somewhat recently, and I'm not. Let's leave that alone.
Okay.
I'm only going to embarrass myself so many times before I make that same mistake twice.
Well, yeah, naming guitar after a girl you have a crush on, I wouldn't say no. But at the same time, I mean, I've driven cars, and I would assume, I would assume that a guitar, like a car, has a personality to it. You learn what it can do well and what it can't do as well, and
Mhm.
I find that that leads it to a name.
Ah,
Each of my cars that I drove for over 2 months would have a name, and I would be proud of them when they did well, and I would be disappointed in them when they broke down.
with all that I put my guitar through, I would feel really guilty if it had a name. The poor
Okay,
girl.
there we go. That's the name. Poor girl.
Oh, that's gonna stick too.
Yes, it is.
You know that next time I'm even able to, I'm gonna pick up that poor little shark tooth and just mumble to myself, "Poor girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sorry for what it's about to happen, but you are gonna play some ska with me. It's gonna."
Ouch.
Yep.
Huh. Well, let's go flip side of that. Of course, Little Orange Box can do quite a lot, but What instrument that you have played is in your man, I don't ever want to touch one of these again box?
All of them right now, actually. It's I used to play piano. I used to
Okay.
play bass and guitar.
Mm.
If I had to choose one instrument not to touch again, it's bass because I have tiny hands.
Okay.
And yeah, it just gets embarrassing. But right now, the reason that I've had to change up a lot of things that I'm doing is because I have severe onset of rheumatoid arthritis. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, even picking those instruments up and playing them for more than 20 minutes at a time is a unique kind of torture.
Well, sure. I mean, I
Worth it.
the few rare times that I have picked up a guitar, it hurts if you're playing
Yeah.
it for my little soft hands that are used to teaching kids and using crayons cannot handle your rough vibrating strings. Which sounds a lot dirtier than I intended it to. But the
I
point remains.
wasn't gonna touch that one. No, man, that thing, it's a vicious instrument. You can cut yourself with that.
Sure.
It's dangerous. They should not let them in the hands of amateurs for a lot of reasons. But no, they can, yeah, no, yeah, right now it's really unpleasant to play in anything except a keyboard.
Hmm.
So,
And
my
I
poor
would say
girls.
I know that often people refer to guitars as axes, but I would prefer the cheese grater ones because that's how it feels on the fingers more.
You know, you're supposed to change the strings. When they get all brown and rusty, you're probably not well advised to go and trying to play with those.
Yeah, yeah. I no. But well, is the onset, is that related to? I wanted to mention about 4 months ago. You posted something on your channel that said goodbye and thank you.
Oh, yeah, actually, there's sort of two different verticals that converged in me having to put that song up.
Okay.
One of them being the arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started doing the pony music back in the tail end of 2011, I did it for about 3-4 months, and I had to take another 3-4 month break because I was putting out such a volume of music that my joints just could not take it, and I was suffering for it, and it got a little better. I started taking care of myself, but then with just before I ended up posting goodbye and thank you, I'd had a really bad flare up. It was, I mean, like honestly, it was some days getting out of bed was, if possible, very very painful, and it's the point where I simply just needed treatment, and the only way I could get that was to get insurance. And to do that, I had to work a job, and that job was in direct marketing.
Oh,
And I'd been before that, I'd been an agency guy for years, so I was used to. I was used to the liquid lunch, the whole power 3 martini thing.
Sure.
We got a client. We went and we had a good time about it.
Right.
So I went from that to a very demanding job,
Right.
just so I could take care of medical stuff.
Sure.
And there was actually a conflict. They did not want me because of my relationship with the client being a public fan of My Little Pony.
Okay.
It caused a bit of a conflict, and when it came down to it, it's something I couldn't quit my job over because I was sick.
Yeah.
So I ended up just, it wasn't. I ended up posting a goodbye and thank you because I really didn't think in the near future I'd be able to do music again. Well, not do music, do pony music again. And
sure.
The tone of the song was very, it was kind of a bittersweet thing. It was, I really don't want to have to do this, but instead of that, I really had so much fun doing it, and it really, the thank you part of it is what I hoped people would remember less than the goodbye.
Right.
The situation changed though. That particular job was not working out, and I was very lucky to get out of marketing and get into a new job.
Nice.
That encourages me to do this stuff.
Good.
The boss there, one of my bosses, he's an old school punk, loves music. The other guy, I showed him the website, I showed him bronyrock.com, and he laughed and said they just thought it was wonderful. And not to mention, they offer just wonderful insurance.
Very
so, yeah. So I've been able to start taking care of some of the health problems the arthritis is still bad, but I'm still able to really just do music again and not have to worry about any of the stuff that I was worrying about before. So
Right. It isn't
yeah,
so much that everything has gotten all peachy keen. It's just now you have a safety net, and you
yeah,
know that it's possible to be taken care of if something goes wrong.
yeah. It's the arthritis is something that's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Um, so at least I can start slowing that down.
Right.
And that's what that is. And it's something that as long as I can do that, I can continue to make music the way that I like. Uh, I mean, I like I said, I enjoy electronic music. It's very something I've been very passionate about all my life. But I'm a guitar guy, and
Right.
not being able to play guitar for that time was crushing.
I'm
But
sure. I'm sure.
it changed, and luckily I was so glad when I got to come back and start writing new songs again.
That's great.
It makes you feel good because I'll tell you I was in that job I had mentioned. It was very tough. It was very I don't want to sound depressing, but I will say it was a little bit soul crushing
Oh yeah.
because it was very long hours, very very difficult, and I'll say I missed it. The cool thing about writing Brony music is that everybody's, they're really chatty. So if you write a good song, people tell you, and it feels good.
Yeah, that is good.
You work, for long hours to make something that you think is pretty cool, and you're not sure if people are going to like it or not. And you upload it to YouTube, and then, 20 minutes later, someone says, "Hey, good job, man," and it feels good. It's after being at such a lonely job and such an isolated place, the fact that I was able to come out of that and get, just, talk to people again. It was
Yes.
awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, you were able to surface and breathe again.
Yeah, it really did feel like that, and
Oh no, I understand. I've been in customer service jobs before, and it's something you have to do at times. But man, do you hate people?
yeah, and yeah, you know what? I won't mention. So never mind.
I insist that every person who works in customer service has some great stories, and that's why sites like Clients from Hell exist.
Yeah,
But at the same time, there are a whole bunch of absolutely wonderful people, and it's unfortunate you just don't remember them as well.
yeah. I will say though that I've been very lucky in that the few really good folks that I dealt with, both in the agency work and when I was working at the direct marketing place, I have been very lucky to have contact with them still. And
That's good.
yeah, when it got, what I like what you're saying with it. I choose to think about it less as I could be very angry at the people I worked for, but I might as well be very happy that I had the opportunity to work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, one of the things that my father insisted on was that each of us get when we turned 16, he insisted that each of us get a horrible job. Just because he wanted us to know, he said, I don't care if you guys work an easy job for the rest of your lives, but for 6 months you're going to work a terrible one, so that you know what it's like, and know what some people have to go through for their whole lives.
So wait, what job did you get?
I was a dishwasher at a Chinese buffet that was 1 point from being closed with health and service. There was a vat of acid next to the dishwasher station for the grease traps. And it was part of my job was to dunk those grease traps in the vat of acid and then retrieve them and clean them off afterwards. I lost about 2/3 of the heat senses in my hands.
Huh?
Most of it's back now, but not all of it. I still have very heat immune hands.
I'm just imagining getting you dish towel flashbacks, and it's not funny, but it's amusing.
Dish towel, not so much, but the roaches were so bad that, I'm going to stop there just because some of these stories will cause people to stop listening to me forever.
But you're right. Working a job that just is a grind makes you really appreciate when you can love what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I didn't have a car either, so I did have to bicycle for a mile and a half to get there every night.
And when I was your age, I used to have to walk a mile and a half to the snow, and then
Yeah.
2 miles back.
Well, when I was your age, we had to go make the snow because our city had a ban on snow, and we still had to walk uphill in it both ways because of some bureaucratic stuff. But we couldn't have snow, so we had to make the snow before we could go walking in it.
You win.
Darn, I was hoping for like a continuous one-up for the next hour or so. Oh well.
I couldn't get enough air.
Well, one of the more recent things that you've done is actually a rap.
Oh, you heard that, did you?
I did hear that, yes.
It's not the first time I have been a rapper.
Well, that's something I wanted to mention. I saw that on Twitter you posted that at some point you were in a comedy rap group.
Oh, you have been stalking me. Okay.
Of course. I stalk everybody that I talk to. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm just
boy.
better at it with some people than others.
Well, it helps that I have a tendency never to shut up about anything.
Yeah.
No, that rap group was the Nitty Gritty. The whole thing about that was here in Philadelphia, my friend worked at the local radio station. They had a syndicated radio show that was broadcast out of Philly called The Kid Chris Show.
Okay.
And somehow, for some reason, we started writing rap songs for this comedy show. It was, a variety show or whatever they call them these days. We started writing rap songs for it, and we ended up doing an entire album and having these songs played on the radio. We were invited to radio events, and I was just the DJ. I was the friend they knew that knew how to write music, and so we had all the really talented people doing all the performance, and they said, "Hey, Mike, you have a computer." So for the longest time, and you can go look these videos up, I was just a guy that was in the videos dressed as a skeleton. I was DJ Skeleton with a cowboy hat on because I was the DJ dressed like a skeleton with a cowboy hat on. So you can see it was
such an apropos name.
A very, very. It goes over a lot of people's heads, but the name was actually describing me. So we did this for actually a very long, not a very long time, for about maybe 2 years, and we ended up actually getting signed to Orange Freeze Records.
Oh wow.
Orange Freeze Records was owned by Rich Cronin of LFO, who was actually a very good friend to us. And unfortunately, nothing came of that, and he passed away before we were able to release anything. But we ended up doing a lot of really cool stuff. I have a lot of, or rather, some unreleased material from Rich that he recorded at my house, and he was on a lot of painkillers actually for his treatments. And he came over one day, and I guess maybe he'd had a few too many, or maybe just enough, and he wrote the most absurd and bizarre rap song I have ever heard. And we're actually all in the process of restoring that now to do a little bit of a video reunion, so that's eventually going to come out. But yeah, no, we went on a southern tour. We did this whole thing. We played the radio, and it was the entire basis of it was to write the most obnoxious music possible and to get free drinks at bars. And we even have a song called "We're the Nitty Gritty, so please give us free drinks." No one ever did. But that didn't stop us from playing it at every single place we went.
Sure. Gotta try.
Yeah. The Southern tour, we had that was a disaster because we were very offensive comedy rap band.
Okay.
That the very first gig of the tour was at a Christian open mic in southern Georgia.
Oh my.
I'm not going to quite explain what happened there, but I'll just say that it was very bad.
Just tell me it stopped short of actual torches and pitchforks.
It stopped just short of that.
Okay.
Yeah. We learned a lot of things about Georgia that we did not know before. Yeah. But the very, very best part of that tour was actually it was New Orleans, because that's the greatest city on earth, and I have no shame admitting that. But the second best part of the tour was Tennessee. We the only gig where we got paid. and they decided they would pay us $70 to play the show.
Woo.
And we said, "How much is beer?" And they said $1. We said, "Give us 70." And the best part is they started bringing out buckets and buckets of beer.
Nice.
We went back to the hotel room and we just had no place to put it.
See, I would have thought you would have just started like throwing it out to the audience halfway through the show.
That's
Catch!
very, very. Let me just say, you are so sweet for assuming we had an audience.
Oh, yes, that's true. And rebuttal, if you start throwing out beer, you will get an audience.
So, are you looking to get into music management by chance?
I still need to work a little bit in customer service. I have 15% of my soul left. After I do that, I'll work in music management, no problem.
Well, then it'll be gone by then.
Yep.
Or I should say opposite of that, no soul required.
Yeah, which is a shame. I like R&B, but... Okay, bad joke.
Oh! I got it. That was very funny.
Yay, I make jokes that nobody laughs at. Woohoo! I'm ready for the comedy tour now, too!
Yeah. Well, we were a comedy hip-hop band, and let me say, no one was laughing.
Oh. Well, or laughing with you, anyway.
Yeah.
It sounds like an interesting experience, though.
I got to dress up like a skeleton and make a complete fool of myself for, every other weekend for 2 years. Does life get better than that?
I did have a job at a haunted house, and I can say no, it does not get better than that.
Yeah, no, it's the tops.
Yeah.
But it was funny too. As soon as I posted that live from Manhattan Brony Rock rap, I actually called all the old band guys and had them listen to it, and they were very surprised to hear that I was still doing absurd things. They're like, "Wait, we all stopped this. You're still at it?" Oh yeah.
Just responding with, "You guys stopped? Man, I've been waiting for you guys to get back to me on that collab we agreed on."
That's a little kind of close to the truth. I didn't know we'd stopped.
Oh my.
I have half an album written for these guys.
Oh jeez.
It'll happen, man. Reunion.
Just, we'll call it the DJ Skeleton with the cowboy hat and his mime backup group. Half the tracks will just be stone silence.
I actually had a friend who did that. I forget what it was called. It was the Daryl Halls or something like that, or the Oats or something. But it was one of those groups that was that was two songwriters,
okay.
And they did an entire band where it was nothing but the lesser known one. So if it was Simon and Garfunkel, they would do an entire karaoke show where they did only Garfunkel's parts.
Okay.
So it would be silence for about 1.5 minutes, and then some sort of little background vocal in there. Did not go over well.
I'm reminded, that sounds like, I'm not sure people would enjoy that so much, but one of my favorite comedy things, it was, give you an idea of how obscure this is. This was on the Richard Pryor show.
Oh, wow.
Nobody knew it, but it was the Pips. Not Gladys Knight and the Pips, just the Pips. So it had, and the stage had a microphone with nobody on it, and then 3 guys in the background singing, "Ooh, leaving, train to Georgia." Ooh.
See, I love that idea.
It was great. It was hilarious. You can find that on YouTube, checking for it. It's so funny to watch the Pips. You know what? I'm sorry. It's called And the Pips.
See, that makes it right there.
Yeah. It was just genius. We loved that so much.
It's people don't write comedy for people like us anymore.
If you do, and this is for anybody, if you do go to karaoke, if you're just a male, put on Aretha Franklin's Respect and just sing the backup. Because it sounds really good just as the backup song. It really does. If people have somewhat of a sense of humor, they will laugh. And you get to do the Sakatumis. So.
Ooh.
Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me,
Suck it to me, suck it to me.
suck it to me. Ooh, just a little bit.
That's the whole reason anyone ever puts that song on anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Who needs a lead singer? We got backup. We're fine.
That's more infectious than the baby back ribs, so.
Oh, yes.
I just put that in your head, and you're going to wake up hours from now going, my baby, back baby, back baby, back baby.
I can tell you actually a quick funny story on that. When Austin Powers came out, and they had the character Fat Bastard singing that, people over here, the foreigners over here loved it. It was really, really funny. But the Australians had no idea about Chili's restaurant. They had never seen those ads before, and they still thought it was funny. They gained an entire new level of it when we explained, no, that's an advertisement. Really? Yeah, it's for here. Let me find it. It's for a restaurant, and they sing this song about baby back ribs, and like, oh, I thought it was just some funny theme he had made up.
Oh, that's great. Oh man, that reminds me of the time I was working at a coffee shop right by a high school, and a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds came in to buy some coffee, and I don't know how it got down to it, but I had to be the one to break the news to them that Mark Wahlberg was in fact Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch. They're like, no, man, this guy's in all the cop movies. He's ripped. He's tough. He's the best action star ever. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're about to see.
Yeah.
They could not believe it. It broke their hearts. Broke their little hearts.
Honestly, for me, I see that less of a... I'm sure it broke their hearts at the time, but really, who doesn't have that dorky phase? And if he can transcend Funky Bunch, there's hope.
Then there's hope for us all.
Exactly. We all have hope of graduating past our own Funky Bunch.
I'm gonna leave this hour with Mark Wahlberg being my new personal guru and hero. Thank you.
Personally, I just want to leave this interview with somebody doing a mashup of baby back ribs and Funky Bunch.
Ooh.
This is something I would like to hear at this point.
I can do that for you.
Ooh, yay!
It would not be the first time I've done that, so...
Either that, or we need a new song, Just Background Pony. That'll be the name of the song, Just Background Pony.
You've opened my mind up to a possibility.
Woohoo!
And
yay.
It feels good. It feels so good. One of those will happen. That is a promise to you.
Yay! Super.
Yes.
Well, a question that I ask in each of my interviews. In all of My Little Pony, what would you say is the one line or one scene that defines you as a brony?
Oh. Wow. That's going to take a little bit of thinking, actually.
I'm sorry.
Oh. It's funny because I've been asked a very similar question before. And...
Really?
Yeah. I've done a few interviews before. And...
This is a trademark Osaka Jack question. I've been asking this for 66 weeks now.
Well, I hate to tell you, but someone might be ripping you off.
I'll take it as imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I hope they'd give me credit.
I'll say the answer is, and this is actually the answer I always give when asked about any moment in the show.
Okay.
Not so much a line, but it's more or less the idea of Cranky Doodle Donkey walking from one end of the world to the other looking for his love.
Okay.
I thought that was absolutely the most romantic episode I'd ever seen. He spent his entire life walking from one end of the coast to the other, from sea to sea, because he knew in a moment that he'd found the perfect, I guess donkey, I was going to say pony, but, and that, the idea or concept of that, kind of, it's always been my favorite moment, and it's always been... And this is going to be dramatizing it way out of proportion, but I kind of think of that as a bar I like to measure myself against. Would I go that far? Am I that passionate about it? And it's made me reflect on the things I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm taking it to heart too much, but Cranky Doodle Donkey is the most inspiring pony of all.
I can see this. And I'm sorry, I know she had good intentions, but who puts a note on the back of a door? Matilda, come on now. If it's this important to you, which obviously it was, you don't just leave a note taped to the back of the door. And flimsily taped too, so that, even closing the door causes it to fly off.
I've stopped trying to figure out Phillies long ago.
Yeah. Now, I will not spoil anything. I know that as of recording this, episode 12 has just come out, and you haven't seen it yet. I won't say anything, except I will say that Matilda has a line.
Really?
Yes.
Dude. I kind of want to hang up on you and go watch it right now.
Most abrupt ending to an interview ever. Okay, well, I kind of shot myself in the foot. He's gone. Y'all want to hear some karaoke or something? Let me put on some music. Hold on. Okay. No.
Okay, I'll stick around for a bit. But the second that I press that little red button, I'm going to put on that up. Go to YouTube, purchase the episode. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch it in HD. Good idea. And then I'm going to sing a baby back rib song about Mark Wahlberg.
Woohoo!
Got my whole night planned.
I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to go back and check, but I think you might be the first person to mention a non-pony for your example.
Really?
Yeah, 65 interviews. I think you're the first one to mention a non-pony.
Well, there you go. I'm a trendsetter with a skeleton hat on.
Yay! Wait, no, you had a cowboy hat on. You are a skeleton. Don't confuse.
Yeah. By the end of the night, after when they would pay us in beer, it became a lot of things.
You know what? I would have liked to see an epic battle: you versus your nemesis, DJ Skeleton with a cowboy hat versus DJ Cowboy with a skeleton hat.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I'd have to get different hats.
Well, no, it'd be two people, is my thought. But instead of dueling banjos, dueling turntables. Another thing I would like to hear: dueling banjos on turntables.
I guarantee you can Google that and find that.
Probably, yes.
I would be, if you can find Ave Maria on bagpipes.
Well, heck, let's even go a step further. Dueling bagpipes.
Oh, that may be the most obnoxious thing I've ever considered in my life.
Well, I mentioned it recently in my interview with Basic, but no, the most annoying thing ever would be accordion dubstep.
I'm silent because I'm thinking about that.
Mm-hmm. It would be incredibly deep bass and a very powerful sound, but yeah, I don't know anybody who would want to listen to it twice on purpose.
You know, my father was a tri-state accordion champion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have nothing against the accordion in of itself. It's just a very specific type of music is designed for accordions, and it's difficult to branch far beyond that.
I am really considering it. I might add that to the list of absurd things to eventually try someday.
Well, speaking of accordions, this week's episode... No, okay.
You just... I don't know why you're trying to get back at me.
Your finger's hovering over the hang up button, isn't it? You're just like...
This is repayment for trying to get you to buy that meat, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Aww. Holding this over my head.
Well, are there any projects coming up that will be released soon?
Actually, yeah, there's a few. I don't know if how many people actually pay attention, but I generally release about one song a week, on average. Right now, I know I have a few for the new Brony Effects project that I do. That's the all electronic where I kind of just... I know I can't pick up a guitar anymore, but damned if I don't want to still have a lot of fun with everybody.
Sure.
So I know I've got a few coming up for that. I know I have one very intense trance song based on Pinky Apple Pie. And I also have one I've been toying with for weeks. I know how it sounds in my head, but every time I go to work on it, just something's a little off. Marin Manhattan, of course, based on Rarity Takes Manhattan.
Sure.
Yeah, I've got a few of those two coming up. But yeah, aside from that, it's just going to be a lot of me relearning about dance music and electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having a lot of fun because for the longest time it was just guitars, and
Right.
everyone knows a lot of the music out there is electronic and dance music in the community, and
Right.
I have to admit I resist it because there's so much out there that already is that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But I'm having so much fun doing it, and it's
That's important. That's definitely.
I am just completely loving rediscovering what you can do with the synthesizer and all that out there.
You know, I'm curious. There is a Chinese instrument. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there's a Chinese stringed instrument that you don't play with your fingers, but you actually have these little stringed mallets that you hit the strings on, and it plays the tune. I'm wondering if something similar could be done with one of your guitars. Like get some soft xylophone mallets and use those to hit the strings in different ways. I'm wondering if that could make a sound, which sounds, I mean, to me it sounds like it'd be easier on your hands.
Well, you know, the thing about that is, and I'll actually give you a real answer on that, I've done similar things. I actually used a lot of alternatives to picks when I was playing in metal bands, and especially when I was in music school. The thing about that is you'd have to rig it up in a way that you could fret the guitar, because what really hurts is the left hand on the frets. That being said, there is sort of an alternative to that. There are ways to get around that, because really all you're doing when you're fretting the guitar is shortening the wavelength of the string to make it go higher.
Right.
Or lower, you're lengthening it. So there's some options out there. Guitar isn't out of my life right now, but it's something that I have to do very sparingly.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, today we have been speaking with Michal Pallante. Has anyone ever tried to pronounce your name as the double L's with the Spanish y sound? Pallante?
Oh, you know what? No one has. I get every
first.
I get every other sort of variant of it. I get Michael Pallante, Pallanto. I had one time had Parante. No, you'd be the first with the Pallante.
Excellent, Pallante, which sounds like an excellent hybrid of paella.
Yeah, I sound delicious when you say it.
You know what? Just make that your tagline from now on. I sound delicious. Seriously, put that Twitter headline, just put it at the end of every song. I sound delicious.
I sound delicious. I'm going to attribute it to you, baby.
Woohoo! Yay, I can help. Well, be sure to check him out on, let's see, we've got YouTube and SoundCloud. And the BronyRock.com site.
Yes, indeed, sir.
Other sites?
I've got actually 2 different YouTubes for 2 different projects.
Okay.
But I have them linked, so you can find one from the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for coming by and speaking with us today.
It has been my absolute pleasure.
Yay.
You're
and
fun.
Now we both have projects to do.
Yes, we do.
Everyone, please check out Michael Pallante, who's pronounced correctly for once.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everyone, this has been Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack on Everfree Network. We'll catch you next time.